Hi everyone, and welcome to week 2. This week we're looking at principle 3 of the code, which is transparency. This means transparency in reporting research findings accurately and disclosing and managing conflicts of interest. The concept of transparency also applies in everyday life in the way organisations act and the way we act ourselves. This week's first activity and discussion looks at transparency in this context of everyday. The principle of transparency is very closely related to the principle of honesty, which we looked at last week, but it goes a bit further. Transparency for us as researchers not only requires honesty, but it also means that others should be easily able to observe and scrutinize our behavior and actions. An example of transparency in research is how we need to provide a precise step-by-step account of how our research has been undertaken, and with enough detail that another researcher could implement the same study and yield similar results. And we have an activity this week that asks you to look closely at aspects of transparency related to your current research project. Transparency is also about declaring and minimizing conflicts of interest. This extends to managing potential conflicts of interest and perceived conflicts of interest as well. A potential or perceived conflict of interest doesn't always mean that the research can't go ahead, but it does mean the conflict must be disclosed and a transparent process must be put into place to show how the potential or perceived conflict is being managed and minimized. Our second discussion forum looks at a scenario where you're asked to think about how a hypothetical researcher should manage issues of transparency and potential conflicts of interest. Have a great week, and I'll see you online.